Okay, let's start. Am I audible? If you can hear me, please give me a thumbs up so that we can start. Okay, if I'm audible, let's start. Tonight I'll be discussing about speed, time, and distance. When we talk about speed, time, and distance, there are a few things related to this topic. Let's say, for example, problems based on trend or problems both in streams kind of question. All those are related to speed, time, and distance. Okay, so uh, there's only one formula where all this trend problem or problem based on bottom streams, everything is related to this one. So the foundational formula is this: speed is equal to distance by time. This is the foundation formula. I'll give you an idea how to memorize this formula easily. Let me just draw like this a circle here. I'll put distance here. Put speed here. I'll put time here. So let's say, for example, if I need to find the value of distance, then what do we have? We have two things in the denominator. Distance is equal to speed into time. And let's say, for example, you need to find this one, time. Then the formula will be time is equal to distance divided by speed. You look here. There's a slash here, right? So think that this one is a division sign. Think that this one is a division sign. Then in that case, time is equal to distance by speed. What about if you need to find speed? Then speed is equal to, you look here, distance divided by time. So speed, we have it here. So speed is nothing but we have distance here divided by we have time here. So the formula is this one. So these are the only formulas that we need. Distance is equal to speed into time, and time is equal to distance by speed, and the other one is speed is equal to distance by time. So first thing first, what is distance? Distance means how long you are traveling, or the distance. It will always be given in terms of kilometer or meter, or sometimes they will give you the length of this one and this maybe, yeah, most of the time it will given in kilometer and meter only. And time, you will be given in terms of minute, second, and hour. Speed, you will be given in two terms. Speed, most of the time, we have two terms. One is kilometer per hour, and the other one is meter per second. We don't use meter per minute. Okay, we only have meter per second. So distance, it will be given in terms of kilometer and meter, and time, it will be given in terms of minute, second, and hour. And the other one, speed, will be given in terms of kilometer per hour or meter per second. So always remember, whenever you are solving, if one of the term is kilometer, let's say this, your distance is in terms of kilometer and your speed is in terms of kilometer per hour, then you need to convert your time in terms of hours. Okay, because we have kilometer per hour here, we have kilometer here, we have two terms which are in kilometer and kilometer per hour. So better convert this hour, this time to uh, hour. So with that basic, let's try to learn something. We call it unit conversion. So whenever we are converting from one unit to another, one unit means, let's say in your question it is given kilometer per hour, and you need your answer in terms of meter per second. The values in the question may be given in terms of kilometer per hour, but in your option it may be given in terms of meter per second. Let's say you want to convert 72 kilometer per hour to meter per second. Then how do? You just multiply it by 5 by 18. So let's try this one. 72 kilometer, I want to convert it to meter per second, so I'm multiplying it by 5 by 18, which means 18 ones are 18 fours are 4 fives are 20 meter per second. So now this 72 kilometer per hour, I've converted it to meter per second by multiplying it by 5 5 by 18. Now, if in the question it is given in terms of meter per second and you want to convert it into kilometer per hour, then what do? We just multiply it by 8 by 15. So let's take an example of, let's say you want to convert 20 meter per second, or that's too obvious. Let's say 25 meter per second. I want to convert it to kilometer per hour. Then how do we do? 25 into, I need to multiply it by 18 by 5. 5 5s are 25, which means 5 8s are 40, 5 1s are 5, 9, 90 kilometer per hour. So now they are just reciprocal to one another. If you're converting from kilometer per hour to meter per second, then in that case 15 by 18. And if you're converting from meter per second to kilometer, the reciprocal of that, which means 18 by 5. So in this case we have 25 meter per second, and we want to convert it to kilometer per hour. In that case, what we just need to multiply by 18 by 5. You may ask me why 18 by 5. In this case, it's just a derivation, so which means we are just converting this kilometer, to meter. How many kilometer makes 1 meter? I mean, how many meter makes 1 kilometer? 1000 meter, right? And if I'm to convert from hours, 1 hour to minute, how many minutes makes 1 hour? 60 minutes. But in this case, we need our answer in terms of second. So how many seconds makes 1 hour? This is for minute, that is 60 minute and 60 second. So which is 3600 second. So if you convert from 1 hour to second, then you will get 3600 second. And if you convert from 1 kilometer to this one, then you will get 1000 meter. So if you can simplify this one, you will get the same answer as that one. Okay. Next, let's try a simple question. An athlete run 200-meter race in 24 seconds. That means it's about 200-meter race, and in 24 seconds we are asked to find his speed. But remember, we are asked to find in terms of kilometer per hour. So number one thing, meter means distance is given as 200, and second means time, 24 seconds. So what I'll do is I'll just find I'll use the formula here: distance, speed, time. What do we need? We need to find speed. Speed is equal to distance by time. So distance here is 200 and time here is how much? 24. If I want to reduce here, then in that case I can reduce by 4. 4 6 are 24, 4 5s are 20, and 2 3s are 6 to 25. So what do we have here? 25 divided by 3. Remember, this one is meter and this one is second, so meter per second. But what is it? We need to get our answer in terms of kilometer per hour. So by the formula, we know that if I want to convert meter per second to 25 by 3 meter per second, if I want to convert it to kilometer per hour, then what do we do? 25 divided by 3. So into, you look here, the term that I've used here. Now I want to convert from meter per second to kilometer per hour. Then the formula is 8 into 18 by 5. 5 5s are 25, 3 6 are 18. So which means 5 into 6 is what we are left with, is equal to 30 kilometer per hour. So that's the answer here. Here in this question, distance is given as this one, time is given as 24 seconds. So the formula for speed is equal to distance by time, because we need this one. So which means we have a division sign here, distance divided by time. And distance is 200, and the answer that we are getting here, it is in terms of meter per second. And I want to convert meter per second to kilometer per hour. Why? Because we need our answer in terms of kilometer per hour, which means I'm multiplying it by 8 into 8 divided by 5. So we get our answer as 30 kilometer per hour, which is option number A. That is the answer. Let's do similar type of question here again. This was asked in Nssb 2021. How long will a boy take to run around a square field of site 35 meter if he runs at a rate of 9 kilometer per hour? So what is given here? In this, we are given a square field. Let's draw a square field. Let's say this is a square field here. We know that square, all the sides are same, so which means 35, 35, 35, and 35. Since we haven't done mensuration chapter, I won't use formula here. Okay, I'll just use as simplest approach to the question, and later maybe after we are done with mensuration, we can use a formula here. Now, if he runs at a rate of this one, so what is given? Speed is given as 9 kilometer per hour. But remember, our option here is in terms of second, and our uh, time here is given in terms of hour. So I need to convert that. That's one thing. But let's find the distance here. Distance means the length that is traveled by. Let's say this one. This is a starting point here, and if this guy, this boy, started running from here, he will be running this way. That means 35 meter and another 35 meter uh, and another 35 meter and another 35 meter, because the question says a boy, how long will a boy take to run around a square field of side this 1 meter? That means how long will the boy take to cover this one, the full distance of this one. So let us find the length of this track. That means that will be the distance. Okay, so distance will be this one 35 plus this one 35 plus this one which is 35 plus this one which is 35. If you are familiar with the perimeter of a square, perimeter means the outer edge, we call it perimeter. Okay, perimeter of a square formula is 4 into side. You can use directly this one also, which is equal to 4 into side here is 35. So you can sum this one also, so you'll get the same thing. 4 5s are 20, 0 20, 4 3s are 12, 13, 14, 140 meter. So you can sum this one, you'll still get 140 meter. So first side, second side, third, and fourth. We know that all the sides of a square is same, and the length of each is 35. If you are familiar with the formula is the perimeter of a square is nothing but 4 into side. Now we got our distance as this one. So I'll just write distance is equal to 140 meter. But let us convert this one to meter per second, because we need our answer in terms of second. So if I convert this 9 kilometer per hour to meter per second, I need to, what do we need to do? We need to multiply it by 9 into, we are converting from meter to what? Kilometer per hour to meter per second, which is 5 divided by 18 meter per second. So let us simplify this one. 9 2s are 18. That means I'll have 5 divided by 2 meter per second. The question, in our question, it is given as 9 kilometer per hour. I need my answer. Since all the answers are in terms of second, I'm converting it to meter per second by multiplying it by 5 by 18, which means the simplified answer is 5 by 2 meter per second. Now we have our new speed. New speed is equal to 5 by 2 meter per second. What do we need to find? We need to find how long will it take. Time is asked here. So let's find the time here. We know the formula was distance, speed, time. So if I need time, which is equal to, oh, I'll just write it here. Time, which is equal to, time is this one. So which means distance divided by speed. Distance divided by speed. What is distance here? Distance, we got it as this one. This is a distance here. 140 meter divided by, what is the speed here? Speed here is 5 by 2. So we know, we have learned something here earlier in earlier classes, that if you have a fraction in the denominator, let's say 2 divided by 4 by 5, then what do we do? If this 2 into, we just write the reciprocal of this one, 5 by 4, which simply means the numerator will go to the denominator and the denominator will go to the numerator. So if you look here, we see a fraction in the denominator. Then what do we need to do? We need to write the reciprocal of it. So I'll just write directly here. 140 into reciprocal of this one will be 2 goes up and 5 goes down. Since there is a fraction in the denominator, I'm doing that, okay? Now, 5 twos are 10 and we have 40, 5 eights are 40, which means 28 into 2 is how much? 8 twos are 16, 1 in hand, 2 ones are 2, oh, 8 twos are 16, 2 ones are 2, 3, 36 second. Is there 36 second? Yes. So the answer here is 36 second. Any doubts here in this question? You go through once. If you have doubts, I'll clarify again. Clear? Okay, we'll move on. 56. Oh yes, my multiplication is wrong here, right? Yes, it's 56. 2 twos are 4 plus 1, right? Thank you. It is 56, okay. So the answer here is 56. 2 in hand, 1 in hand, 2 twos are 4 plus 1, 5. 56, okay. I made a mistake there, yes. You can make your correction there if you're making notes. Let's go to next. A train covers a distance in 210 minutes at a speed of this one, so which means a train covers a distance in 210 minutes at a speed of this one. The time taken by the train to cover the same distance at a speed of this one. Okay, there is two parts in this question. The first part is this one, and the second part is we also find the time taken by the train to what? To cover the same distance at the speed of this one. So what I'll do is I'll find the distance using the first part of the question. Using this part of the question, I'll find the distance here. And whenever you are doing speed, time and distance question, you always look at your options. What is here? It is in terms of hours. So if it is in terms of hours, you need to convert everything to kilometer per hour. That is the much better way to solve, okay? So let's begin with this. I'll use the first part of the question. First part of the question says a train covers a distance in, that means we don't know the distance. So shall I assume the distance as x and speed is given as how much? 60 kilometer per hour. And another thing, what is given? A train covers a distance in minute. Time is given as 210 minutes. So I'll convert this 210 minutes to hour because most of our all the options here it is in terms of hours. I'll just tell you one thing here. Whenever you are converting from minute to hour, and whenever you're converting from hour to minute, if you're converting from a smaller value to a greater value, then we multiply it by 60. And whenever you're converting from a smaller value to a greater value, then we divide it by 60. Always remember that, okay? So now in this case, I want to convert this minute to hour. So what do we need? We are converting from a smaller value to a greater value, so which means we need to divide. So I'll just write 210 divided by 60. 0, 0 cancel. I have 21 by 6 minute. I'll just use it as it is. I don't want to simplify further because I want to use as minimum calculation as possible. So this is what we have. This is the time taken. Now the formula was distance, speed, time. If I need to find the distance, the formula is speed into time because both are in the denominator. So which means, what is it? Distance is equal to speed into time. So what is speed here? Speed is 60 kilometer per hour into what is time here? Time is 21 divided by 6. So if I cancel this one, 6 tens are 60. So we are getting it as 10 into 21 is 210 kilometer. Remember that we are using in terms of kilometer per hour. Oh, remember this one is in not in minutes, okay? This is hours. Because we have converted from minute to hours by dividing it by 60. So our distance here, we got it as 210 kilometer. Let's go to second part of the question. Second part of the question says the time taken by the train to cover the same distance. That means we are talking about this one, the same distance at a speed of 80 kilometer per hour. So now in this case, we need to find the time taken, time taken. So time taken formula is, time formula was time is equal to, we have distance here, speed here, distance divided by speed. So time is how much? uh, Distance here is 210. What is the speed? Speed, we need to use this one, 80 kilometer per hour. Why? Because we also find the time taken by the train to cover the same distance at a speed of 80 kilometer per hour. So I'll use that one, 80 kilometer per hour. So 0 0 cancel, we get it as 21 by 8 hours. So 21 by 8, since all the answers are in the mixed fraction, let's find the mixed fraction. How do we find mixed fraction? 21 you divide it by 8. 8 2s are 16. That means answer 5 here. Remember, whenever you are writing in your answer in terms of mixed fraction, the answer that is here should always be written at the top, and this one divisor should be written at the denominator, and this one should be written at the front. So 2 hours 5 by 8 hours, so which means the answer here is this one. So our final answer is 2 5 by 8 hours. Any doubts here? Please go through once. And if you have doubts, I'll clarify that part. Clear? I'll move on to next, okay then. So the next is average speed. It's a average speed. It's a topic where lots of question has been seen over the years. So it can be done in many ways, but I'll just give you formula approach. There's another approach by what is it? Allegation approach. So since I haven't taught you how to solve by allegation approach any types of questions, so I'll just use the formula approach here only. So the formula is this: average speed divided by average speed is equal to total distance divided by total time taken. So easy. Average speed is nothing but total distance divided by total time. What do we by our earlier formula, it was speed is equal to distance by time. So speed is equal to distance by time. So when we talk about average speed, there will be many speeds and there will be many times. So there will be 2 or 3 speeds and there will be 2 or 3 times. So in that case, the total distance divided by total time will be your speed. So let's start with the question. There, most of the time, if we look through the question papers, we see 3 types of average question. So one is when distance is given and time is given. This is type number 1, okay? When distance is given and time is given. So whenever distance and time is given, it's an easy one. Distance is equal to, I'll just write total distance. Total distance is equal to how much? The first is 200 kilometer plus the second is 400 kilometer. That means the total distance here is 600. And what about the time? Total time. Total time is, we have 3 hours here plus how much? 5 hours. So 3 hours plus 5 hours is 8 hours. So now we have the total distance is 600 kilometer and total time is 8 hours. So by the formula, when the average formula, when this 2 is given. When distance is given and time is given, the formula is total distance divided by total time taken. So let's use that. Average speed is what? Total distance, which is 600, divided by total time, 8 hours. So if we simplify this one, uh, 2 4 are 8 and 2 3 are 6, 0 0, 2 2 are 4, 2 150, and 2 2 7 are 14, 2 5 are 10. We have 75. Remember, our answer is in terms of kilometer per hour. So this formula is applicable only when this one, distance is given and time is given. Remember this. So the first type of average question is average speed question is when distance and time is given. When distance is given and time is given, but you are asked to find speed. So in that case, you just find the total distance divided by total time, then you will get the answer there. So let's move on to the next type. Type number 2 is this. Average speed when speed and time is given. Speed and time is given, okay? This is also the same thing. We are asked to find the average speed. But here in this case, speed is given and time is given. Here speed is given and time is given. But remember earlier it was distance is given and time is given. So don't get confused. Looks like similar question only, but the approach and the formula that we use, all the questions we are finding average speed. But remember which formula to use when, okay? Here in this case, if speed and time is given, the formula is this. So speed, average speed formula is, I'll just put the formula directly here, or let me just simplify this question a little bit in order to understand better. So let's say there's a distance here. What does the question says? A train travel at a speed of 35 kilometer per hour for 10 minutes. So let me just make a middle point here. From here till here, the train is traveling at 35 kilometer per hour. That's the first part. And in how many minutes? In 10 minutes. And another, how much? From here till here, the train is traveling at a speed of 20 kilometer per hour. In how many minutes? In 5 minutes. So remember, if I want to find the distance of this one, distance formula is speed into time. Time 1 is given as 10 minutes. So let us convert this one 10 minutes to hours. So which means 10 divided by hours is how much? 60. So 0 0 cancel, which means 1 by 6 hours is what we have. Time, this is time 1, okay? And speed 2 is equal to 20 kilometer per hour, and time 2 is how much? 5. So which means if I need to convert this one in terms of hours, 60. So 5 ones are 5, 5 12. That means 1 by 12 hours. So I'm just deriving the value of speed is given as 35 kilometer per hour, and speed 2 is given as 20 kilometer per hour. So since our answer is in terms of hour, I'm converting it to hours here. That means time is equal to 1 by 6 hours, time 1. Time 2 is equal to 1 by 12 hours. By the formula, what do we have? The formula here is speed 1 into speed 2. I won't write formula, I'll just directly put the values here, okay? So speed 1 is how much? 35 into time 1 is how much? Time 1 is 1 by 6 plus speed 2 is how much? Speed 2 is 20 into time 2 is how much? 1 by 12 divided by time 1 plus time 2. Time 1 is how much? 1 by 6 plus time 2 is how much? 1 by 12. That's what we have. I'll just wrap this one. You can try this one by yourself, okay? You'll still get the same value, just that I haven't converted up here. So now, if I simplify this one, I'll get my answer is the upper one is 35 divided by 6 plus this can be reduced 2 6 are, I'll just make it into 6. 2 6 are 12, 2 10 are, that means I have 10 by 6 divided by uh, if you look here, the LCM of 6 and 12 will be 12 because the greater number is in the multiplication table of the smaller one, so which means the LCM here is 12. So 6 times how much is 12? 6 times 2. 12 times how much is 12? 1. So the if you look here, both has a denominator same, which is 6. So I'll just put the LCM as 6, which is 35 plus 10 divided by 2 plus 1 is 3 divided by 12. 2 plus 1 is 3 divided by 12. Now let us sum this one. 35 plus 10. 35 plus 10 is how much? 35 plus 10 is 45 divided by 6. We have a fraction in the denominator. Shall I write it reciprocal of it directly? This one, we have a fraction in the denominator, so this can be written as 12 by 3. So 6 2s are 12 and 3 1s are 3, 3 5s are 15. So which means we have 15 into 2, which is equal to 330 kilometer per hour. So even if you are trying with the other method, your answer should be 30 kilometer per hour. So the answer here is option number C, which is 30 kilometer per hour. Any doubts here? Because there's lots of fractions here. So if you have doubts, then I'll clarify that part. No? Fine? Okay. Okay, then let's go to next. Now, same thing. Average speed when speed speed and distance is given. Distance and speed is given. So whenever speed and distance is given, earlier the second part of the question was speed and time was given, and the first part was the distance and time is given. So all those questions are looks like similar but a little bit different. So in this question, distance is given, the first distance and the first speed, and another second distance and another speed. That means Shubham covers 150 distance in 60 at 60 kilometer per hour speed, and he travels at a rate of 40 kilometer for another 200 kilometer. Find the average speed. So now what I'll do is distance 1, I'll assume it as 150. If I'm using this one, distance 1, this should be speed 1. Okay, always remember that. So speed 1 is how much? Speed 1 is equal to, what is happening here, 60 kilometer per hour. This is kilometer and kilometer per hour, and the other one is what is it? Distance 2 is how much? This one, which is oh no, this is speed. Distance 2 is this one, 200 kilometer, and speed 2 is what? 40 kilometer per hour. So if you look here, we see that all the units are same. We have kilometer here, we have kilometer per hour here, we have kilometer here, we have kilometer per hour. Since this question is no option, so I'll use is it as kilometer per hour only. So by the formula, we have speed 1 into speed 2, distance 1 plus distance 2 divided by speed 1 distance 2 plus speed 2 distance 1. Okay. So in that case, let us find the value. I'll just put the value here in this question. So speed 1 is how much? 60. Speed 2 is how much? 40. Distance 1 is how much? 150. Distance 2 is how much? 200. Divided by speed 1 is how much? Speed 1 here is 60. And distance 2 is how much? 200. Plus speed 2 is how much? 40. And distance 1 is 150. So what I'm doing here is I'm just putting the value. Distance 1 is this one, and speed 1 is this one, so which is speed 1, and same thing here, distance 2 is 200, so distance 2, 200 here, and so on. Okay, so I've just put the value of all this question here. Now what I'll do is I'll find the value. 60 into 40, I'll just give it as it is. Okay, I don't want to multiply. So I'll just solve it directly. 150 plus 200 is 350 divided by 6 twos are 12, but remember we have 1 2 3 plus 4. 15 into 4 is 15 into 4 is 60 and 1 2. So I'm just multiplying here. Now the next is 60 into 4. 6 4s are 24. 0, or let's keep it as it is. Let's find the denominator here. So now what is happening? I can write this one as 60 into 40 into 350 divided by 12,000 plus 6,000 is nothing but, I can write it as 18,000. 1 2 3. So 1 1 0 0 0 0 cancel. 6 3s are 18. So what do we have? 35 into 4. 5 4 5s are 20. 0 2 in hand. 4 3s are 12. 13 14. 140 divided by 3. Is this correct? 4 5s are 20. 0 2 in hand. 4 3s are 12. 13 14. So we have it as, let's reduce this one to what is it? We need to find the average speed. So let us find it in terms of points. So 140 divided by 3. 3 4s are 12. That means how much do we have? 20. So 3 6 are 18. So 20. That means your answer will be 6 point. So yeah, 46.66 so on kilometer per hour. It can also be sometimes 46.67 also. So I'll just stop here, is this one. So what I'm doing here is I'm keeping this one as it is, so that I'll just multiply at the end. Now I'm just multiplying this to 60 into 200, which is 12,000, and 40 into 150, it is 6,000. So 12,000 plus 6,000 is nothing but 18,000. So all the zeros are cancelled, and if I reduce it, I'm getting it as this one. So if you multiply this one, we are getting 140 by 3, and which is the answer is 46.6 kilometer per hour. So that's the answer. I think that's it on average speed. Oh, there's one more. Okay, we see it question based on this kind of question as well. This one, if you look here, this formula is applicable for this kind of question. There's a point here A, and there's another point here B. If a man is going to this point, and after reaching this point, if he returns again to the same original position, you will be given a man is traveling at certain speed. Let's say for going, in this case we are assuming it as a man is going from A to B. That means from A to B at a speed of speed 1. That means going speed is s1. Going speed is s1, and return from B to A. That means the next part is he is returning from B to A at a speed of s2. That means the going speed is s1 and the returning speed is s1 in this case. And let's say if he takes TRs to go and come back, okay, going and coming back, TRs, then the average speed is given as 2 times of s1 into s2 divided by speed 1. That means 2 times of going speed and coming back speed divided by their speed sum. But if you ask to find the distance between the 2 point A and B, if you ask to find the distance between these two, in that case the formula is this one, time into speed, this one. So let's solve some question based on this one. It was asked in Npsc 2021, I guess. This question 2021 or 2019, I'm not sure, but I just wrote it 2021. P travels from a person travels from P2, from this point, which is P, to Q. Let's draw 2 points here, to Q, and it says at a speed of this one. That means when going from P to Q, the man is traveling at 20 kilometer per hour, and from Q to P, that means returning from this point, okay, from this point Q to B at a speed of how much? 30 kilometer per hour. 30 kilometer per hour. We are asked to find the average speed. If you are asked to find average speed, you don't need time, okay? If asked distance, you need time. But in this case, you don't need time. But remember in our question, in kilometer per hour. So which means we have in terms of kilometer per hour, we don't need to convert anything. So the formula was, average speed formula was 2 into speed 1 into speed 2 divided by speed 1 plus speed 2 was the formula here. So 2 times of speed 1 is how much? Speed 1, going speed is this one, and coming back speed is this one. So I'll just write speed 1 is 20 and speed 2 is how much? 30 divided by speed 1 plus speed 2. So we will get it as, I'll just keep the numerator as it is so that we can simplify a little bit there. 20 plus 30 is how much? Oh, yeah, 20 plus 30 is 50. So 0, 0 will get cancelled. And 5 into 4 is 20. So 4 2s are 8. 8 3s are 24 kilometer per hour. So the answer here is nothing but 24 kilometer per hour. We have option yes, which is option number A, this one. So most of the time in exams, what we see is we don't see very much complicated questions, but a simple question, if you know which formula to use in which question, then it is easier, okay? Any doubts here regarding this one? I think it's just clear-cut formula only. Yeah. Let's go to this one. It was asked in Nssb. It was 2023, I guess. I'm not sure, so that's the reason why I just wrote PYQ here. So this is the same case here. A certain man is traveling from point A to B. This is point A, and there's another point called point P. At a speed of, that means from A to B at a speed of how much? 10 kilometer per hour. And P to A, that means traveling back at a speed of how much? 15 kilometer per hour. His average speed. So we also find average speed. Average speed formula was 2 times of speed 1 into speed 2 divided by speed 1 plus speed 2. We don't have much here. So 2 into speed 1 is how much? 10. Speed 2 is how much? 15. And the speed 1 is 10 and speed 2 is 15. 10 plus 15 is how much? 10 plus 15 is 25. So which means we got it as 2 into 10 into 15. So shall we reduce this one? 5 5s are 25, 5 3s are 15, 5 2s are 10. So 2 2s are 4, 2 2s are 4, 4 3s are 12. So 12 kilometer per hour is our answer. Which is, we have it in the option, which is option number B. I'll just repeat again. The formula for average speed for two fixed point is 2 times of S1 into S2. Speed 1 is nothing but going speed, and speed 2 is nothing but coming speed, and divided by the sum of their speeds. So in our question, it is given 10 kilometer per hour as going speed, and coming speed, returning speed is 15 kilometer per hour. So 10 plus 15 is nothing but 25, and I'm just reducing it. We got it as 12 kilometer per hour. That's the answer. It was an easy question, so to say. Yeah, let's try a question where the distance was asked. Okay. In this question, a man covers a journey from a station A to station B. That means there is a station A and there is another station which is station B at a uniform speed of 36 kilometer per hour. So which means this one traveling speed is 36 kilometer per hour. That means going from A to B and returning from B to A. Excuse me. Is how much? What is the returning speed? And return to A with a uniform speed of how much? 45 kilometer per hour. And it is said that the time taken to go and return back is given as 2 hours. So what I'll do is I'll do like this. Speed 1 is given as 36 kilometer per hour, and speed 2 is given as 45 kilometer per hour, and time is given as 2 hours. Do you remember the formula that we have explained earlier here? The formula is this. The distance between 2 points is point A and B. The distance is this one, which is there's only one thing extra. You remove 2 here and you put t here. That's the only thing. So I'll use that formula here. So in this case, the formula was the distance is nothing but t into speed 1 into speed 2 divided by speed 1 plus speed 2. So this time taken is 2 hours, and speed 1 is how much? 3.6, and speed 2 is how much? 4.5, divided by speed 1 plus speed 2. Speed 1 is 3.6 plus speed 2 is how much? 4.5. So if we sum these two, I'll just keep the numerator as it is into 4.5. 6 plus 5 is 11, 1 in hand. 4 plus 3 is 7, 8. That means 81. So it can be divisible by 9, I guess. 9 9s are 81. 9 5s are 45. 9 4s are 36. And I'll just tell you a trick. Whenever you see 5, you multiply that number with an even number. Then your multiplication will be easier. So what I'll do is 4 5. I'll just multiply this 2 first. 2 4s are 8, and 8 5s are 8. It's a small number, so we don't need anything. But 4 2s are 8, 8 5s are 40 kilometer. That's the answer here. So I've just used the formula here. 36 kilometer per hour is the speed 1, and speed 2 is this one, and the time taken is given as 2 hours. So which means the formula for the distance between A and B is nothing but time taken into speed 1 speed 2 speed 1 plus speed 2, and I'm just putting the values, their respective values. I first find the sum of this two, which is 81, and I reduce it. We got it as 40 kilometer per hour, which is the answer here. Okay, that's the answer. It's already 8. Okay, now I won't discuss any question based on this formula, but it's also a similar kind of formula only. If a person travels, this is about average speed, okay, 3 equal distance. We use this formula when distance is not given, okay, so distance is not given, but just the speed is given. Remember this formula is applicable when distance is not given and only some speeds will, speed 1 speed 2 speed 3, like this, certain speeds will be given. In that case, the formula is this. The formula is, there's, what is it? Yes, the formula here is speed 1 into speed 2 into speed 3 divided by s1 s2 s2 s3 and s3 s4. It's easy. 1 and 2, 2 and 3, 3 and 1. So earlier one question was asked, I think this was mains question, okay, in mains 2018 or 19, I'm not sure, so I just wrote it Npsc BYQ. The question was this, it was just directly formula question only. A person travels 3 equal distance, that means we are talking about 3 equal distance at a speed of this one and this one respectively. Then the average speed of the whole journey, we are asked to find the average speed of the whole journey, which means the formula is s1 s2 s3 s1 s2 s2 s3 s3 x1. So which means the answer here is this one. So it was just formula based question only. So if you know the formula, you will get the answer directly without solving anything. So that was the answer there. It was asked in mains. Okay, you can go through and confirm which year it was asked. Now let's discuss about relative speed. So when we talk about relative speed, there are a few things you need to keep in mind. There's two types of relative speed. One is traveling in the same direction, that is number one thing. Relative speed when traveling in the same direction. And the other one is relative speed when they are traveling in the opposite direction. So when they are traveling in the same direction, the relative speed will be, relative speed simply means this, we are finding the relation between the two speeds, okay? So this type of question is applicable when there is two moving objects. Let's take an example. There's A here, this is the point A, and there's another B here. Let's take an example of this one. So what will happen is that, let's say A is traveling this side and B is traveling this side, which simply means A is traveling to the right side and B is also traveling to the right side. So they are traveling in the same direction. Let's assume that A is traveling at S1 speed and B is traveling at S2 speed. In that case, if both of them are traveling in the same direction, oh, it can also be this case. It can also be A traveling this side and B is also traveling this side at speed 1 and speed 2. It can also be this case as well. B traveling this side, A is also traveling this side, which simply means both of them are traveling in the same direction. When both of them are traveling in the same direction, the relative speed will be S1 minus S2. Always remember that. But remember the greater number, the greater S1 should be greater than S2. So if you're traveling from this point to this point, and from this point to this point, in this case, this should have the greater speed. Okay, so always remember, if you're comparing two uh, moving object, and when you're finding the relative speed, you always keep the greater number or the greater value, numerical value should be at the first, so that your answer it is not in negative. Okay, the next thing is, if both of them are traveling in the opposite direction. So opposite direction means what? It can, let me just discuss only one case here. Opposite direction, A is traveling towards B and B is also traveling towards A. In most of the question, they use the word A and B are traveling towards each other. You will see that A and B are traveling towards each other. You won't see both of them are traveling in the opposite direction, but the words that the examiner uses, uh, traveling towards each other. When they are traveling towards each other, the relative speed is nothing but speed 1 plus speed 2. So this is the concept here. Relative speed, it's important for race kind of question, or question based on problem based on a thief and a policeman. All those are under relative speed. Okay, even train based problem, it is on relative speed. So with that in mind, I'll just repeat for the last time. Same direction, if they are traveling in the same direction, their speed should be subtracted. And if they are traveling in the opposite direction, or if they are traveling uh, towards each other, their speed should be added. That's the only thing we need to keep in mind. So let's try a question here. The question here is, a jeep is chasing a car uh, which is 5 kilometers ahead. That means there is two things here. One is there's a jeep here. There's a jeep here, and there's a car here. There's a car here. And it is say that they are 5 kilometers apart. That means 5 kilometers apart. They are 5 kilometers apart. So if they are 5 kilometers apart, again, what is given? Their respective speed is 90 kilometer per hour in this one. So which means that the speed of the jeep is 90 kilometer per hour, and the speed of the car is uh, 75 kilometer per hour. Now, since the question says a jeep is chasing a car, which simply means car is traveling away from jeep, right? Because this one is chasing him. So when someone is chasing you, you're running away, right? So in this case, same thing. This car is running away from this point. So according to the question, if we look here, we see that they are traveling in the same direction. So relative speed formula was what? If they are traveling in the same direction, I'll just use speed 1 is this one and speed 2 is this one. And this is the distance here. So relative speed formula was, they are traveling in the same direction means speed 1 minus speed 2. Speed 1 is how much? 90 minus speed 2 is 75. So which means 10 minus 5 is 5 and 8 minus 7 is 1. 15 kilometer per hour. This is the relative speed here. So now that we have the relative speed, what do we need to find? We are asked to find how many minutes, that means the time taken by the chip to catch the car up. So the time formula was, if we remember, this y1, distance, speed, time. So time is nothing but distance by speed. So if you look through, all the answers, all the values here is in terms of kilometer per hour, kilometer per hour, kilometer, but we are asked to find our answer in terms of minutes. What I'll do is I'll just find my final value and convert it to minutes. That is much more easier, I think. Now, The distance here is how much? Distance here is 5 kilometer. And now the relative speed here is how much? 15 kilometer. So if I reduce this one, 5 ones are 5, 5 threes are 15. I have 1 by 3 hours. But remember, all the answers here is how much? It is in terms of minute. So I need to convert from hours to minute. So hours to minute means if I am converting from hours to minute, that means I am converting from a higher value to a lower value, which means I need to multiply by 60. So time is given as 1 by 3 into 60 minutes. So 3 twos are 6 and 0, which means the time here is 20 minutes. So we have option yes. So which is option number this one. I'll just repeat again for the last time, okay? Here in this question, the distance is given as 5 kilometer. That means the distance between the chip and the gar is 5 kilometer, and the speed of the chip is given as 90 kilometer per hour, and the speed of the gar is given as 75 kilometer per hour. Always remember, if it's a question of chasing one another, the ones who is behind should have the higher speed to catch up the front one. Okay, always remember that. So which means in this case, speed 1 is 90 and minus 75, we are getting relative speed as 15. What is relative speed here? I'll just explain something here. As since this car is running away from chip, this car will be traveling away from this one, and even this chip is traveling towards this one. That means both of them are traveling through a certain distance. That means the car will not be stationary at this point. The car will be traveling a certain distance when the chip will catch the car up. So that means, let's say this is the point where the chip got up with the car. So which means the car will be traveling a certain distance and the chip will also have to cover this distance. So the distance between these two, okay, the distance between the chip and the car will be traveled by the relative speed. That means the distance between this one, which is 5 kilometer, 5 kilometer will be traveled by their relative speed here. So relative speed here is how much? Relative speed here we got it as 15, right? So relative speed here in this case we have it as 15. So the distance between these two, the chip and the car, will be traveled by the relative speed. That's the reason why speed we are using it as 15. And the distance is how much? 5. So this 5 kilometer will be traveled by at a speed of 15 kilometer per hour. So that's the answer here. So we are reducing it and we are converting this 1 by 3 hours to minute just by multiplying it into 60. Why? Because we are converting from a higher value to a lower value, so we need to multiply by 60. So that's the answer there. Let's move on to next. Oh, it's 8:11 already. Okay. Now, it is a similar type of question, I guess. A thief is not a policeman, and this is a thief running a policeman, and the policeman is right. Okay. The difference is this one. In this case, there is two things. There's a policeman and there's a thief. There's a thief. And they are 200 meters apart. And what is given? The policeman is chasing the thief, and their speed is, the thief speed is this one, and the speed of the policeman, it is this one. So I'll just write the speed of the policeman is 11 kilometer per hour, and the speed of the thief running away is 10 kilometer per hour. If the speed of the thief is faster than the policeman, then the policeman will never be able to catch the thief. Okay. So now what I'll do is I'll find the relative speed. Relative speed formula we know. Relative speed is nothing but, what is it? Speed 1 minus speed 2. Since they are traveling in the same direction, so which means 11 minus 10, which is how much? 1 kilometer per hour. But if you look here, you see that the distance is given in terms of meter, so we don't have options. So what I'll do is I'll just convert this one in terms of meter per second. Okay, so if I am to convert this to meter per second, 1 into if you're converting from kilometer per hour to meter per second, we need to multiply by 5 by 18, which is equal to 5 by 18 meter per second. So now we have our relative speed as this one. Let us find the time taken. Time taken will be, we know the formula of this one, distance, time, speed. Time is distance by speed. So distance here is 200 meter divided by speed here is relative speed what, which by 18. So we have a fraction in the denominator. We need to write the reciprocal of it, right? So I'll just write the reciprocal of that, which is 200 into 18 by 5. So 5 4s are 20, 4s are 20 and 0. So 4 8s are 22, 3 9, 4 1s are 4, 7 7 20. We are getting in terms of second, 720 seconds. But that's not the answer, because we also find at what distance will the policeman chase the thief. We are asked to find how long will be the thief away from their initial position. Let's assume this is the point here, and we are asked to find the distance of this one. The thief running away from the policeman, and after how many minutes the policeman caught up with the thief here. We are getting it as 720 seconds. So this one, the time taken to travel this one is 720 seconds. So the thief took 720 seconds from this point till this point at the speed of how much? At the speed of 10 kilometer per hour. Oh, we have hours and we have second here. So we need to convert at least one of them. So let's get our answer in terms of meter, okay? That will be better. So what I'll do is I'll do like this. Let me just cancel this box. We need to find the distance here. So which means distance formula is what? Distance formula is speed into time. According to this one, distance is nothing but speed into time. So what is distance? We don't know. And what is speed here? Speed here is 10 kilometer per hour. So if I want to convert this 10 kilometer per hour, shall we just convert this one to meter per second? So 10 kilometer per hour, if I convert it to meter per second, it will be 10 into, if you're converting from kilometer per hour to meter per second, it is 5 into 18. So let's not multiply, I'll just give it as it is. So speed is equal to 10 into 5 by 18 into, the time taken was how much? 720 seconds. The time is 720 seconds. Why 720? Because the time taken by the thief to travel till this point is nothing but 720. Why? Because the policeman caught the thief at this point, which is, we don't know how much meter away, and we are asked to find the distance the policeman catches the thief. So let us reduce this one. I think it is 18. 18 into 4 is 72, I guess. 18, 4 is 72, 0. That means 4 5s are 20 and 1 2. 4 5s are 20, 0 0. Yeah. It is 2000 meter. It is 2 kilometer. So that is the answer there, okay? So the earlier question was just about how long will it take for a certain person to catch a person up, but in this case we also find at what distance will the policeman catch the thief. So that was the question. So that's the reason why we are finding distance here, speed into time. So if your option was in terms of kilometer, it will be 2 kilometer, okay? 2 kilometer, since it is 2000 meter. So any doubts here regarding this question? If you don't have question, I'll just move on to next, okay? Okay, this, yeah, it's a similar type of question, but there is a trick here. Two persons ride towards each other. That means they are traveling in the opposite direction. two places 55 kilometer apart. I'll just throw that figure, okay? There's two person here. There's A and B, and they are 55 kilometer apart. One riding at a speed of 12 kilometer per hour. Let me just assume that A is traveling at a speed of 12 kilometer per hour. And let me assume that P is traveling at 10 kilometer per hour. If there was no condition, that means you can just directly find the value. There was no condition. But here in this case, there is one condition. In what time B will T be 1 kilometer apart? At a certain point of time, A will be at this point and B will be at this point, where T will be 11 kilometer apart. We are asked to find at what time, okay? So I'll just remove the condition once and I'll just explain the question here. If there was no condition and traveling towards each other, the relative speed formula was speed 1 plus speed 2, right? They are traveling towards each other, so speed 1 plus speed 2. Speed 1 is how much? 12 plus speed 2 is how much? 10, which means they are traveling at 22 kilometer per hour speed. Relative speed is that. If there was no condition of this one, 11 kilometer apart, then the formula for we also find what is it? The time, right? Time is nothing but distance by speed. So in this case, the distance is 55 kilometer apart and the relative speed is 22. So it will be 11 5s are 11 2s are. That means 5 by 2, which is equal to 2.5 hours. If no condition was given. But there's a condition here. They need to be 11 kilometer apart. In that case, what do? We subtract the distance. The actual distance was 55 kilometer. So now the distance will be equal to, the actual distance was 55 kilometer, but they need to be how much? 11 kilometer apart, which means now they will travel only 45 kilometer. I mean 44 kilometer, because 55 minus 11 is 44. So, and everything remains the same. Excuse me. And everything remains the same. So time taken will be distance, which is 44, divided by speed will be just the relative speed that we have got, which is 20, 22. 22 into how much is 44? 22 into 2 is 44, which means 2 hours is the answer here. 2 hours. So the answer here is 2 hours. So remember, when you see a question when there's a condition where they are some few kilometers, you need to get the time when they are certain kilometers apart. In that case, from the total distance, you subtract the distance that they need to be apart. So in that case, that will be the distance here. Clear with that? Remember, this one is without condition, okay? This is not the answer. Whenever you are going through the notes, remember that. So I'll go to the next. Okay. It's how much? 21. The next question, next type is circular track. So circular track type of question, everything is same, just that the distance will be the length of the circular track. The distance will be, let's say you have a circular track. Let me just use a circular track here. If you have a circular track, this one, that means this is the starting point, then the length or the distance will be nothing but this one only, because the person will be running around this one only. So which means the distance will always be the length of the track, or sometimes if only the radius is given, then the circumference of the circle will be the length. But since we haven't done mensuration, I'll just discuss more deeper in when we do that, okay? So in this case, the distance will be this one, and same thing here, we will have two cases, because we'll be when we talk about circular track, which means it's about a race, okay? Two-person running. So if they are in the opposite direction, like we have done earlier, relative speed will be this one. So this is just a simplified formula here. The time is what? Distance divided by speed, right? So that's what we are doing only. Time is equal to distance, which is L, and speed, which is a relative speed. They are traveling in the opposite direction, which means x plus y. Same thing here. Time is, they will meet for the first time. They will meet for the first time, but remember, both one is opposite and the other one is in the same direction. When they are traveling in the same direction, it is the distance is this one, and we know from the relative speed that if they are traveling in the same direction, the relative speed is subtraction. And they meet exactly at the starting point. I'll just explain this one. Let's say we have A and B, two-person here. For this case, I'll just assume B is running the side, A is also running the side. Let's say they meet up at this point after 2 minutes. That means this one simply means they are meeting up at this point. That means one of them will be faster. Let's say B is traveling at 2 km per hour and A is 1 km per hour. That means they are meeting at this point after some certain revolutions, and they are meeting here after 2 minutes. Then, if you are also find at what time will both A and B meet at this point, at the starting point. Then the formula is LCM of, you need to find the LCM of L divided by X and L divided by Y. L is what? Distance, and X is what? Speed of A, and L is the distance again. What is Y? Y is the speed of B. Remember that, okay? So with that in mind, let's try some questions. The question here is, in a circular race of 2500 meter, that means the distance here or length here is nothing but 2500 meter. It's about 200. A man and a woman starts from a point towards opposite direction. That means both of them are traveling in the opposite direction. So remember the relative speed formula when they are in opposite direction. We need to find the sum of it, okay? At the speed of this one and speed of this one. So what I'll do is I'll just draw a figure for you to understand better. There's a circle here which is of length 2500, and it is given that a man and a woman. So let's say if a man is traveling this side, the woman is traveling this side, because they are traveling in the opposite direction. At a speed of the man, at a speed of this one, 37 kilometer per hour, and 35 kilometer per hour. So what I'll do is I'll just write their respective speeds as this one. So the speed of man is equal to 37 man is equal to 37 kilometer per hour, and the speed of woman is equal to 35 kilometer per hour. So since they are traveling in the opposite direction, the question says they are traveling in the opposite direction. Opposite direction means what is it? We need to find the sum of their speed. So relative speed is equal to speed 1 plus speed 2. So speed 1 is 37, speed 2 is how much? 35. Since they are traveling in the opposite direction, okay? So speed 1 plus speed 2, how much will you get? 7 plus 5 is 12, 1 in hand. 3 plus 3 is 6. That means I'm getting 72 kilometer per hour. But remember, whenever you are doing a question based on circular track or train problem, always convert your unit to meter, okay? That will be much more convenient to solve. So in this case, we have our answer in terms of speed, relative speed in terms of kilometer per hour. I'll convert this one to meter per second, okay? 72 into kilometer per hour. If I want to convert it to meter per second, it will be 5 by 18. So 18 into how much? 18 into 4, I guess. 4 3s are 33. 4. That means 4 5s are 20 meter per second. Now our relative speed here is 20 meter per second. Now, what is asked in this question? After how long will they meet? That means we have the relative speed. The formula was, Y formula was speed, distance, time. So which means we need to find time. So time is distance by speed. What is the distance here? Distance, we know it as L, which is 2500 divided by relative speed is how much? Oh, 20. 0, 0 cancel. 2 ones are 2, 2 twos are 4, 2 fives are 10. That means that time is nothing but 125 seconds. So that's the answer there. Any doubts here regarding this question? Sumbo, Sumbo, please bring me a cup of water.